I'm Casey Sableski.
And I'm Jessica Watt.
And we're here today to show you our presentation for our poster about the type of HASS teacher that we would like to be in the future. So just a little bit about the design of the poster itself. So we focused on the qualities of what we see and what we believe in a general HASS teacher and what a quality HASS teacher would be like, but also we're talking about the type of teacher that we want to be in the future across all subject and curriculum areas. So here you'll see that we're set up in a bit of a cog type of situation here. The idea with that is that each of the cogs, once one cog moves, it sets the others in motion, just to show that there's a bit of an interrelated movement between all three, between all of our values here. We have the little men down the bottom here, which is also bringing it back to the fact that it's a bit of a shared responsibility. So we can't do it alone. We've got to rely upon others, so our colleagues, and it's a real collaborative effort for everyone as well. If one person falls, then obviously all our cogs will drop off. But that's just basically a little bit about the background and design of it.
Yes. Okay, so we came up with 3 key aims, derived from the curriculum but also just personally, of our aims as HASS teachers. So one was to help students build their personal and social identity. The second is to teach them skills to enable them to challenge their personal and societal perceptions and dominant ideologies. And the third one is to use history as a platform to learn from and actively promote change for a better future. So our central idea on the poster here and our central concept that everything stems from is authentic learning. So our main goal is to be authentic teachers, and this also reflects many of Shaw's key values. We connect the curriculum with real-world issues and provide opportunities for realistic application, providing richer and more relevant experiences for our students. To do this, we provide authentic context, showing how skills are used in real life, and authentic tasks where they develop skills through realistic applications. So an example of this, in Year 5, in HASS, students explore the election process, and an example of an authentic task here would be that they organise a school council or classroom council election, following the same processes that Parliament do to elect leaders. From here, then we have the assessment component. So assessments are always embedded in and integrated seamlessly into the tasks. An example of this then is addressing community issues by having students write letters to the local government addressing some of these issues and how to make change.
Yeah, so again, with most of these cogs, you'll find that a lot of them do intertwine, so they do make their way into other avenues. We're going to do our best to actually move around it and just show how they interrelate and link with one another. So now looking at the collaborative side of it, so we recognise that knowledge is socially constructed. It's through experiences with others that we deepen our understanding of the world around us, and that's drawing from Vygotsky's notion and view of development being socially constructed. So as HASS teachers, we want to co-construct the curriculum and learning experiences for our learners, understanding that there's diversity within our class. So within our classroom, there's lots of students that have come from various social backgrounds, races, religions, levels of experience also, and they share different interests. So really kind of valuing and supporting these students and their endeavours as well. So we want to celebrate and not segregate these students and their backgrounds. So stemming from this collaborative view, we're moving on now to the sense of community. So this little cog here that we're talking about is really having a sense of community within the classroom, but also within the actual community outside that too, and bringing that into our classrooms. So we want a community of learners within the classroom who share similar goals and values and work towards improving the outcomes for all students. Secondly, by taking down the traditional walls of the classroom as well, we want to extend and grow knowledge through others, through learning experiences. For example, inviting community experts in, so also family members and other colleagues within the school or outside the school too, to share their information and their knowledge and expertise as well with the students and with the teachers as well. So lastly, we also want to actively involve students in authentic learning, which we've spoken about already about the importance of authenticity in the learning environment, but really involve them in authentic learning experiences involving the community. So events and things such as Clean Up Australia Day, by establishing community vegetable gardens that will support the entire community, and establishing relationships with the local government. So again, going on from this, we're now looking at the reflective side of it. And we do see a really important part of any good teacher is to be someone that is reflective and quite always critically analyses themselves. So it's important to develop new knowledge from shared experiences with colleagues and members of the community. So building on our pedagogical database and adding to our repertoire of skills as well. So really inviting those colleagues in and working with one another, whether that's within the teaching profession or outside, to really sit back and reflect on oneself to improve for the better. So we're also constantly critically analysing our own preconceived ideas, thoughts and feelings on various topics and discovering new ways of knowing. Alright, after this one we're going into the critical phase. So one very important and obviously really important in the unit that we've been talking about, but we would like to be considered to be quite critical teachers. So creating an atmosphere where activities, assessments and dialogue challenge one's worldview, allowing them to reflect on their own perspectives, and also developing and understanding empathy towards others. We're also talking really strongly about exploring taboo topics within the curriculum, that are often not covered by the other curriculum areas, through a mutual critical dialogue, so where the teacher and student communication is of equal values, the power relationships are broken down. Through these experiences, the teaching and learning is student-centred, so in that it's situated in the conditions and cultures of the students, so their languages, their themes, their understandings, their levels of readiness and development, and that will be the focus and the starting point for future learning.
So, building on the critical component, we thought that flexibility is also a main key element and skill that we want to bring to teaching in general, not just in HASS, but making the most of teachable moments. So even if they're not the main component or issue of the lesson, if a discussion between students is occurring and something is worth teaching in that moment, we want to be able to be flexible enough that we can make the most of that. And this allows for critical and meaningful dialogue about the issues, examining multiple perspectives, different people's opinions, as they come up in natural context, so not just trying to force issues to be raised in an unnatural setting. So then tying that in, another key component of authentic learning, but also an aspect which is very effective, is interdisciplinary learning. So this means that learning should never occur in one subject at a time, and that all subjects should be linked in some way, and that all tasks can be interdisciplinary to provide rich and relevant experiences for students. An example of this from the curriculum, in Year 6 HASS, students have to examine the economic characteristics of different countries, and then this links then to maths, where they examine a range of data displays, so they can look at graphs and tables and stuff in maths, learn how to read them, and then use that knowledge in HASS to understand the economic characteristics of the countries. Another example is in Year 6 HASS again, where different groups and experiences of democracy and citizenship in Australian history can be examined using the English skill of understanding objective and subjective language and bias, so they can read different articles and stories from the past with that critical eye to then understand people's different perspectives on the history.
So just to finish up, the post that we've created is reflecting of the values that we commonly share as teachers and teachers that we want to be in the future. And we believe that they have significant importance if we are to generate the inquisitive and active citizens of the future. Thank you for listening.
Thank you.